Real life street stars. Man, we are in here with a legend, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Man, that boy Roach, man, is in the building.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
Let's go.
I need my money, man.
Yeah,
Hey,
you
man.
need your money, man.
Let me know, man. Who we got to jump, man?
Man, you've been making your rounds on the internet.
Yeah.
You know, you've been telling these stories, and we're gonna get into them.
Okay, let's
if
go.
If that makes any sense, man. First and foremost, for those who don't really know you, man, just give them a brief history about who is Gu.
Yeah,
What you do?
And what
do you do?
Because there's a lot of artists that might need to. Hey, this the one y'all need to pay attention to, because we gonna go through there.
I mean, I consider myself a publishing expert. You know, I've been doing this probably for about 20 years now, but I've gotten better as the years gone by. I started off with an artist named probably Nature, and couple other guys started taking people to court. I just started progressing, you know, started doing my own thing. Got with the DMX estate, and you know, people know me for that, the Big Pun estate, and you know, I started getting clients. Probably after I took Fat Joe to court, I started getting a lot of clients.
Got you.
Yeah.
So let's start there.
Okay.
You took Fat Joe to court. Wasn't that like Pun's like best friend?
It doesn't seem like it to me, but I mean, you know.
Oh, let's break it down.
Yeah, because we all remember when Pun's mother was in the street, like almost about to be homeless.
Well, what do you mean? They got her. She got arrested for robbing 2 banks.
What?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, some shit we didn't know.
No, yeah.
Break it down.
Hold on.
I'm not saying that she was guilty for it, but she did get arrested for robbing 2 banks. Unfortunately.
Right. And she did that
out in Florida.
And she did that because of the lack of money.
That's what it seems like. Yeah. That's
Got
what
you.
it seems like. That's the alleged story, you know. Sorry to say, but, you know, I'm here to tell the truth about whatever. So, you know, I mean, you could Google it. It's public information. So don't hate on me.
Got you. So let's go through. We're going to walk through a couple of these cases.
Absolutely.
Big Pun, you know, a lot of people revere Big Pun as one of the best Mexican rappers, Latin rappers, whatever you want to say, of all time. Like, a lot of people have him at that standard, right? And Fat Joe is the one that ushered him into the game. What happened? Take us through, number one, how does the publishing in his scenario work? What was it?
I wasn't there, you know, for the whole time of what happened. I popped up around 2009, but I do know the scenario. I mean, according to Liza, after he passed away, Joe was telling her that, oh no, he owed me money. You know what I'm saying? Then all of a sudden, a bunch of fake royalty statements started to come biannually saying, you know, you're in debt, you're in debt, you're in debt, you're in debt. And then for about 14 years, from about 2000 to 2014, fake royalty statements was coming out.
2000 to 2014?
Yeah, fake royalty statements were coming. And but Joe used Jelly Bean Benitez as a publisher. Jelly Bean Benitez was Madonna's ex-boyfriend from the early 80s. He produced a bunch of Madonna records back in the early 80s. He remixed, he DJs now.
Gotcha.
He became a publishing, he's pretty good in the publishing business. So he kind of like specialized in recruiting Latin people, Latin writers. But basically they were sending her fake royalty statements. She used 3-4 lawyers before she met me. One was super popular, was telling her there was nothing here, basically. Once I got the royalty statements, the same stuff that they had, it probably took me like a minute and a half to see the deception. I called her up, told her I paid for the case, paid for the auditor, took him to court. You know, Joe was all over the radio basically saying, I gave her $750,000, I gave her $250,000. I told the bitch, enough's enough. Everybody bought it and believed it. You know, he has the big platform. He could call Envy or all these other people and go in their radio station and be like, look, she's lying. And, you know, she can't do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So everybody was like DMing her, bitch, get a job. He got you money for a hair salon, all this stuff. It was all lies. And mediation, we had him admit that he never gave her $1 in his life.
Oh, so he didn't give her
Nothing,
money?
not $1 in his life. He never gave her, period.
Damn. Well, how does, okay.
So I mean, go on.
For those who want to scam, how would they get that off? I'm just curious.
Yeah, I mean, there's ways to do it, but I mean, you just can't be that greedy in a royalty statement. You know what I'm saying? You got to put maybe 80% truth in there and 20% lies or something.
But how
you
do
know
you
what I'm saying?
get?
But the whole statement was a lie. You know what I'm saying?
But how did he get that off though? Like, how do you get a fake statement and pay nothing for 14 years?
I mean, usually estates don't know anything, and they're going to believe whatever comes to them. You know what I'm saying? That's all I can say. I mean,
But at some point, they got to cash the check, though, right?
What check? There's no check coming. It says that you're unrecouped and you owe $300,000. And then the next one, and then the next biannual might say, okay, you owe $300,000. The next biannual 6 months later might say, oh yeah, you made $8,000 in royalties, so now you owe $292,000. So it's a slow drip. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, for 14 years. But like I said, took him to court probably September 2014. By the time I think March, we were in settlement by the time March 2016 came. He was in mediation, and I mean, according to him, there was never a court case. He was on Drink Champs and other platforms, basically saying, I went to court and the judge said, "What are you doing here?" And I walked out. He basically went on the platform saying that there was no court case. I don't understand that. Then you got Miss Jones, who was on the platform also saying, she was on Drink Champs also saying that Big Pun gave her all the publishing, and that the wife and family owned no publishing. And I was about to sue the whole gamut, but the only reason I didn't is because Noriega, because I like Noriega, I didn't want him to get involved. So I mean, the only reason they didn't catch it
was anybody
is
else
because of Nori. Honestly, they should thank Nori.
Right.
Honestly, at the end of the day, because I like Nori. He has nothing to do with this. But the only reason I didn't put fire on them is because of him.
Was there anybody else that spoke out besides his mom or Big Pun? Big Pun's
wife?
What? Yeah, was there
Nah,
anybody?
she got no support. She got zero support.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She got zero support. There was nobody there for her. Oh well, I think DMX might have talked to her a couple of times, but not to like give any money. She wasn't expecting that, but like, she might have spoke to one or two people, and said, "Oh, I see what you're going through," or something like that. I think Little Kim might have reached out to her one time or something like that. But all the other guys that was Pun's friend before Joe, and now they're friends with Joe, I mean, they just let him lie. A lot of people, I noticed a lot of these guys like to be lied to, and they don't want nothing to be involved. And when you see she's in a homeless shelter and stuff like that, there's nobody, even though she got vindicated through court, still nobody reaches out to her. You know what I'm saying? Say, "Oh, my bad," or "I see what happened," or anything like that. And then you know what else Joe did?
What?
This was crazy. So after we were trying to do a Big Pun movie and stuff like that, right? And basically, we were like, hey, let's get Joe involved. You know what I'm saying? Because it's going to be bigger with Joe. If you do it without Joe, Joe can get all these other people involved and make it real big. That's truthful. You know what I'm saying? But he was basically saying like, well, if you go on Instagram or if you go out there and tell publicly that I never stole from you, then I'll work with you. Otherwise, I'm not working with you. She's like, why would I do that? You stole from me. You know what I'm saying? So he wanted her to change the story up. You know what I'm saying? So then if she did do that, now all people are going to be back on her ass in the DMs and telling you bitch, you lie, and all that other shit. You know what I'm saying? It was crazy. But I don't understand how people just let him lie. Because not only that, people were calling me saying like, oh, you never took him to court and you a bullshit and stuff like that. And like what I do is like, I look at it as an art because it's not easy. You know what I'm saying? And it's like he's messing up my art at the same time. So I got to be vocal about, I got to be defensive about my work. You know what I'm saying? I can't get slapped in the face about this. This is truthful. Everything I'm saying is true. It's a fact. You could read the court documents. I mean, he was in mediation. He basically said that he never gave her $1, zero. So the $750 he was talking about, he lied. The $250 he's talking about, he lied. As you see now, people are starting to see that he lies a lot. But I don't understand why nobody reprimands him. None of his friends, at least I don't see it. I mean, he's like a Catholic priest, bro. He's untouchable.
I've seen some people get on his ass before. I forgot.
Yeah, but not people of status like him, equals?
Bro, 50
No,
Cent.
not be like people he's wrong. Like I believe like rappers that were under him at a time on Terror Squad, they would be like, yeah, you beat
Cuban
your wife.
Links.
Cuban Links.
Yeah, Cuban.
Cuban Links.
Yeah.
I got on his ass. He was
Yeah,
like,
no,
yeah, you
Cuban,
beat your wife. You
I
don't
mean,
do it.
He has nothing to lose. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? He's not he's not friends like all these industry guys like that. You know what I'm saying? And he went through his own drama. You know
Right,
what I'm
for
saying?
sure.
So he's out there telling the truth. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't even want. It's crazy. I wasn't gonna say his name because I didn't even think you would know who he was. But of course,
No, I talked to him. I talked to Cuban.
So,
I talked to him the other day.
So, can you disclose how much you were able to recover?
Well, when we did the audit, okay, this is the funny thing. Mm-hmm. So when we did the audit, we had to get discovery, all right?
Right.
Inside the discovery, went back from inception, all right? So the beginning of his career, whatever, of the publishing situation. We found 2.3 in the discovery, but it was more money than that because when Jelly Bean gave the statements, it would go from like say like there's page 1 to 200, and then there'd be 200 pages missing. There'd be pages 201 to page 399 are missing. So there's like 199 pages missing. Then it goes back at 400. So he was actually like hiding more money where there was more money. He was hiding the statement. But I don't want to hear nobody say, oh, but then Jelly Bean did it. No, they co-conspired in it. And in court, Joe got reprimanded for all the problems, all right? Joe was obligated to pay the bill, all right? So if he says, oh, Jelly Bean paid the bill, if Jelly Bean paid the bill, he made Jelly Bean pay the bill so he didn't look bad. The judge told, the mediation, Joe was responsible for paying whatever was owed to Liza, period.
So help me
These are facts.
So help me understand. So 2.3 million was from what? Just strictly recording?
That was missing in the royalty statements.
Yeah, I'm saying the royalty statements are coming from the actual recordings that Big Pun did.
Absolutely.
So do you think that was a fair amount, or was that not a fair amount that he got? Do you think he was more?
It was more because there was pages missing in discovery. All we did was settle. You know what I'm saying?
Got you. So like, you worked on another high-end case with hold on.
How happy was the wife? Like,
I mean, honestly,
or did she was like, these niggas owe me more?
No, but honestly, it was court was kind of rough some days because I mean, it's not like I'm not gonna say the lawyer's name, but Jelly Bean's lawyer is real good, and he's somebody not to play with. You know what I'm saying? So it was Jelly Bean's lawyer, and Joe had 2 lawyers. So it was 3 lawyers or maybe 4 lawyers versus my lawyer, and me just passing off notes to my lawyer. You know what I'm saying? But there was some nights, some days it felt like like we were gonna lose the situation, and then some days, because what happened initially was when we first made the draft, in order to have your court case stick in federal court, you have to have a $75,000 value or more. All right. So Jelly Bean did his little thing, and basically he made some story up where it only came up to like 66,000. So it was about to get thrown out. So I had to go back home and find another 10,000. So, and then get it back to 75,000 so it stayed in court. You know what I'm saying? Then from there we were able to rock on and get the discovery and everything else. And it came up to like I said, we got an auditor, it came up to 2.3. And that was shorts, you know what I'm saying?
Now ask me this, right? We talking about Fat Joe. We all know Fat Joe's repping the streets, right? Did you ever fear for your life? 2.3 million is a lot. People get knocked out for way less.
I mean, I've had problems before, you know what I'm saying, with other sources. I'm used to the shit, you know what I'm saying? I mean, there's gotta be somebody on the right side of history, you know what I'm saying? I can't, what am I to do? If I didn't do this, what kind of situation would she be in right now? You know what I'm saying? Would she still be at the homeless shelter? Would she just have a regular minimal job? Would the kids be, okay like they are now? You know what I'm saying? Would Jelly Bean still be sending fake royalty statements from 2014 to 2025 to right now? You know what I'm saying? And even if she did recoup from the 6 figures it was when we saw it, like, is he only going to be paying her like $2,000-$3,000 every biannual, and more lies in the royalty statement? I mean, who
seeing all this, did it get personal with you? It's just knowing how it was playing out and the things that he was doing.
Well, I mean, I didn't have any interactions with Joe, but I deal with some of his friends on the administration.
Right.
I help some of his people out that, some of his alumni, let's say, rap alumni.
Right.
And they just want me to do the job. They don't want me to talk to them. I don't think they want to tell Joe, like, oh yeah, I work with this guy, he's getting me my money. You know what I'm saying? Like, they just let me do the work. And that's all good, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But no, obviously Joe knows exactly who I am.
Right. How do you feel about him? Just
how do I feel about him?
Yeah, you personally.
I think he's low quality. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're gonna leave a family in a homeless shelter over lies. Come on, man.
It's
you know
crazy.
What I'm saying? I mean, you can't call this guy your brother. What do you think your brother would do to you right
now? So is she still able to recoup from?
Yeah, we got him out. We got her out the picture from from the former publisher. With the judge. The judge gave Joe shares to Liza. So whatever shares that he had publishing wise and whatever he had rights wise.
That's awesome.
She got it. You know what I'm saying?
That's awesome.
So I mean, trust me, she went from a bad situation to having places in multiple states. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's I heard from her the other day. I mean, she
Did
don't
she
have
throw
no,
you?
she
Did
has
she
no
ever?
complaints. She has no complaints.
Did she ever hit you and throw you like a little bag? Like, hey,
man.
I ain't good looking.
Well, I mean, I got my money back for
Yeah.
what I invested in stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And we actually worked on the audit and stuff like that, and everything's working out. You know what I mean? So, but like, yeah, put this way, whether they do a movie or not, she don't really care.
Yeah.
She's good. The kid's good. You know what I mean? She's like whatever. But it's just kind of crazy where he tried to put an ultimatum up, and then the whole industry goes with it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't mess with her. I still can't mess with her. Even though she was right, I still can't mess with her. That is crazy.
Wow.
That is crazy. Like I said, he's like a Catholic priest, man. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like definitely in hip hop, man, it feels like there's certain people that it just like no matter what, they can't do no wrong.
Just off subject. Do you think like he should be able to say nigga?
What'd you say?
You think he should be able to say nigga? As a Puerto Rican?
I'm
just fucking with
yeah. From the environment I'm from,
Yeah.
I'm so used to it that I don't even. It doesn't even measure in my head that is wrong. You know what I'm saying?
For real.
Yeah, man. If a white guy said it, but like
Right.
a guy like him, he's so cultured in this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just remember hearing that conversation and they was having with him one day.
And I'm not trying to say he's not a legend. You know,
Yeah, he's a legend for sure.
he put a lot of work in the business. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not trying to discredit him on that end. You know what I'm saying? It's just crazy, this whole scenario what happened between the pun estate and, I mean, like, I can't even say if it's, like he's managed by Rock Nation.
Yeah, it's tough right there.
I just don't understand, like, so how, they're just gonna let him do what he does. You know what I'm saying? It's all about the money. No one cares about nobody in this business. I'm telling you, like, I might have, during the holidays, I might have loaned 3-4 rappers money. You know what I'm saying? They won't even go to their own friends, their own alumni, because they'll make fun of them. You know what I'm saying? If they went to their man like, oh, a fellow rapper, like, yo, I need some bread. I know you 20 years of this and that. They're gonna come to me, so it's more secret.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't gonna say who this, that. You know what I'm saying? But the other, they're gonna laugh, get on the phone, like, yo, he tried to borrow money from me. And they're gonna be joking for the next couple of weeks over that shit. So like, I just from my experience, man, it's crazy, man.
So, tell me about your affiliation with Sugar Hill. If anybody doesn't know, that's like the first record label ever.
They could have been as big as anything, but they had more dishonesty than honesty in them. So, basically, my grandfather and their father used to sell dope with each other in Harlem. They used to have twin Oldsmobiles, all sorts of shit, you know what I'm saying? So my family knew, the family, the father and stuff like that. I'd come around, me and some other cat that I grew up in Fort Lee, we'd go around, come over there, try to learn the business. The father knew my family, be like, I'll teach you the business, you know what I'm saying? The sons would try to get me out the room, try to distract me, because they don't want me knowing the business or maybe anybody else knowing the business, who knows, whatever. But I got to know a little bit of the business through them. And then their secretary kind of showed me some things because he was in the room a lot. Shout out to Dino. And I kind of just took it from there, you know what I'm saying? With my aggression and whatever I knew, I was able to take it from there. But what happened was that back in like 98, 99, okay, my Uncle Mookie, rest in peace, had like 25, 30%, it was either 25 or 33% of James Brown's and Man's World on the publisher end. Betty Newsom was the writer. I think James Brown might have had a piece also. When my Uncle Mookie was in the hospital, they might have thought he was dying or something. They helped forge his signature to sell his shares of publishing to Warner for like $830,000. So kind of from there, it kind of like separated me from them a little bit, because they did that. I was still messing with the son a little bit, but we got into a big discrepancy in '99, which I was telling you off camera.
Yeah.
And about 5 years later, I got one of Nas's friends, Nature.
Yeah.
They were admin in his catalog. Come to find out, his name is Jermaine Baxter. with no E at the end of Jermaine. So I was helping them out. I was a rookie, but come to find out, they made a BMI account. He was ASCAP, all right? They knew his publishing was sloppy. They never told him. They're like, oh, his publishing sloppy. We'll just make another Jermaine Baxter with a fake social security number under BMI. Even though it gets red flagged, the IPI still gets created, all right? So, which is like the identification of your writer name. And they were able to collect under his name internationally behind his back without knowing. So I noticed that. I took them to court with a lawyer. I didn't know as much as I do now, or else I would, it would have been crazy. But that kind of started, me jumping them because it went from that. And then I noticed that they were robbing Benzino. Benzino never met them before in their life. You know what I'm saying?
Tell me about that, because Benzino is a friend of the show, so we got to
Okay,
figure
yeah,
how do they rob our guy, man. Justice for Benzino.
Yeah. I remember me flying to Miami, going to Benzino's studio, showing him notes. Like, hey, man, he's like, I don't know that, I didn't know they were collecting my money. I got Leland and the brother passed away on the phone. And you could tell they were fighting over the phone because the brother was saying too much, so Leland got him to hang up and stuff like that. But make a long story short, we wound up in court and settled. They were administrating his catalog for years without him knowing. Yeah.
So I just want to get a clear cut to understand it. How does one been able to administer a catalog, like, even if they're not knowing you? So they create something under your name?
Well, what they used to do in the physical days,
Okay.
they go to Disco Mat, Sam Goody, Tower Records, if you know those stores or anything like that. Back then, you was able to see all the credits and see who your writer and publisher is. Oh. You know what I'm saying? So it might say Rook, ASCAP, Universal Publishing. Oh, okay, he's already protected. I can't steal from him. Oh. Then it might say another name and it just says ASCAP with no publisher. Oh, I can go in on him. Let me do some research. Oh shit, he ain't got no protection. I'm going in.
That's crazy.
Oh, the original scammer.
Mm-hmm. So you'd be able to see on the back of the credits back then who had a publisher and who didn't.
So
that's how they got Nature. They reach out to you,
Real quick sidebar
Foxy
question.
Brown, a few people they got.
Real quick sidebar question. BMI versus ASCAP. As an artist, we never understood the difference.
One takes more percentage than the other. If you notice, a lot of writers in the 60s and 70s were more, in the 50s and 60s were more with BMI, like a James Brown and some of those guys of that ilk were more with BMI because ASCAP wouldn't survey black music then. They were more racist. They weren't trying to put no money in black people's pockets. So they had to see how prominent the black music got, and then they finally gave in and started surveying black music. But for decades, ASCAP would not survey no black music, period. Unless a white writer owned it.
That's crazy. Yeah. So how did we get past that?
How did we get past that?
How did that?
They just saw how prominent the black music was, and they had no choice. They wanted a piece, you know what I'm saying? But ASCAP might take 11-12% administration cost. BMI might take 13-14% or something like that, and I think CSAC might take 9 or 10% at least.
That's crazy. Mm-hmm. So when it comes to DMX, right? Because that's another case that was real big on your thing. How did that situation happen?
Well, we took Sugar Hill to court for stealing probably like.
How did Sugar Hill get DMX?
Well, it was half legit. They got a lawyer to do a deal. They ran down the lawyer and told the lawyer that he had a bunch of money out there. The lawyer entrusted them and got DMX to sign some paperwork where they would get 10-15% for collection off the first 3 DMX albums. All right? No, off the first 2 DMX albums. All right?
Yeah, those was classic.
What happened was they collected off of 3 albums, one extra that they weren't supposed to collect on, and they never paid money on any of the 3. They just went in and kept all the money. Yeah, and went to the dealership. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's just what it was.
And we're talking about Sugar Hill is an all black. They were the first black owned.
Yeah, but the thing about it is that they learned from I would think that they learned from Morris Levy. All right, Morris Levy was down with the mob. Didn't they have a movie called Roulette Records or something like that?
Yeah.
I forgot the name of the movie, but it was something like that. But basically, they saw what he was doing, adding writer names to songs and stuff like that, and then they saw the technique, and then they just started doing the same thing that the Jewish guy was doing. Yeah, that's basically it,
So do you fault them at all, or do you feel like?
Hell yeah, I fault them. Yeah, because, they would be 10 times bigger if they just paid people legitimately. But what I think is that they were under pressure with the mob, so they couldn't pay nobody legit. So if they were getting pressure with the mob and paying the mob money, I got to take from the artist so I can live.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then the artists are scared to ask for money because they see that they're there with the mob. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
well, you know, that's just how it was. You know what I'm saying? And even to this day, they still got them under contracts. And I try to talk to a couple of these guys, but they just like to be abused. They like to be lied to. You know what I'm saying? Some of them think they got it half straight when they don't. They don't pay. They just continuing the handbook that was given to them, you know, from the father or how Morris was doing it, whatever. They're just continuing the handbook. You know what I'm saying?
So, what is the? We know there's a lot of gain from stealing, but when there's people out there like you that will be like, "Hey, they got your paper." Why? What is the motivation behind it when they know they're going to have to give it back eventually?
I mean, they don't, man, bro. They play hard, man. They try their hardest not to give it back. They'll be like. I just spoke to one today. I got in the arc. Well, there's only one left. I just spoke to him today. You know, he's trying to scam one of my writers. Actually, it was Val Young, who sang "To Live and Die in L.A."
Right.
They've been stealing her money since 2002.
Yeah.
All right, and he called her up. I was on the Star Report 3-4 days ago. All right, I was his co-host, talking about, you know, royalties and things like that, right? And he heard it. I'm sure he heard it, or somebody told me he heard it. So he tried to beat my client to the chase. He called her up today and offered her $7,200. $7,200 when they stole easy 6 figures. You know, so, I mean, To Live and Die in L.A. She's on a bunch of Snoop songs. They're still holding 20 songs of hers, you know, in certain places and things like that. I mean, they want her to take the $7,200, sign this paperwork so you can't come back at me. And then I came up. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, he's willing to pay people back, but he's willing to pay people shorts. Right. You know? And then the royalty statement that he's going to give you is going to be fake too. You know, like, oh, no, it says $7,200. And that's bullshit. Because I caught him in the lie today when she called me up. Yeah. Mm.
Now you got to break.
And half these guys are goofy in the town. Honestly, I mean, they just look at him as a legend. I don't see. That's the thing. I don't look at him like that. Right. They look at him as like royalty. You know what I'm saying? I don't look at him like that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's why me and they are who they are. They like to be lied to. I don't know, man. It's crazy.
It sounds like a lot of people ain't going to get their money because they want to be cool and be friends and be able to.
They do. They want it. But put this way, you being around them makes them feel relevant.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I know so and so. You know what I'm saying? Like, so what? You know what I'm saying? Like you know, they got nothing in themselves, so they got to stand next to them to feel relevant. You know what I'm saying? This guy's a nobody. I mean, you look at it, he's a nobody. He's nobody. I mean, all he did was inherit, you know, a catalog. He's nobody.
Yeah.
He ain't shit. He ain't nobody. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't believe half the city goes for this guy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's crazy.
Man, help me break down this UMG Drake beef, man. He's suing UMG, which is his actual label, right? How does that work, man?
I mean, I really didn't look into it that much about because I do so much work, so I really don't know much about it. But I mean,
he's alleging that basically the Kendrick Lamar they use bots and they use tactics.
I think what he's saying is that Universal purposely messed up his next negotiation. You know what I'm saying? By you putting out this record, you know, and making me look crazy and making my stock go down. Right. Now I come back to the table because maybe he got $500 million last time or something like that. Now he wants to renegotiate, and Universal be like, oh, I can't pay you as much. Like, your stock went down. No, but you did that to me. I'm suing you. You did this purposely. I think that's the whole narrative, or part of the narrative.
What is your take? Do you think he will be successful? Do you think any of that is true? Like, some of the things that he's alleging is that they're...
I mean, Universal plays dirty. I mean, I wouldn't put nothing past them. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Sugar Hill stole millions from Universal, and they still gave him an administration deal. They still look at him as lucrative. They still gave him an admin deal. I've showed Universal facts that they stole money from writers and all sorts of stuff, and they know. I got emails and everything to prove it. As long as they're lucrative, and they get their percent, They turn a blind eye. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I just beat somebody for $1 million in court back in August with some clients, and Universal's the guy I beat. The catalog is through Universal, and the catalog got some value, and they know the guy's a thief and wasn't paying my writers, my clients and stuff like that. But you know, they don't care because they make so much money with that guy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's all about market share. They don't want to lose market share. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these companies don't want to lose market share. You know what I'm saying? And they turn a blind eye to the thievery. They really do. I mean, I don't care if they try to say anything about it. You know what I mean? I could prove it. I mean, I could, everything I'm saying I could prove. Right. You know what I mean? So if they want to try to sue me or whatever, okay, you know, I got plenty of ammunition for them. I mean, even look at the Benzino thing.
Right.
When he did the hip hop here, I think it was called Hip Hop. He came out with a series of hip hop compilations when he Source Presents Hip Hop something, volume 1 through 14. Right. So by the time I ran into Benzino, you know, he moved, so he was under a bad address, so he stopped getting payments from Universal. And he was getting payments probably till like 2004 or so through Universal. After Iveen took Benzino to court over Eminem over defamation and stuff like that, it didn't work to Iveen's advantage. I think the case got thrown out and they had to pay for Benzino's lawyers and stuff like that. And all of a sudden, by the time I tried to collect after that court case, all of a sudden they put him under cross-collateral. He was cross-collateralized, which means that all projects had to recoup in order for you to get paid on one. And out of the 14 projects, they only have like 4 projects on the royalty statement, and they got him unrecouped for like $1.3 million, but they didn't put the other 8 projects on there. If he put the other 8 projects in there, he'd be in the black and he'd be getting money. So basically, it looks like they just took his paperwork in there and just threw it up in there and said, "You figure it out." You know what I'm saying? Just being emotional over the Eminem case. You know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, he got 14 projects on the royalty. He has 14 projects he put out, but on the royalty statement, there's only 4 projects that he's recouping off of. You know what I'm saying? If that's not demonic.
Yeah. Why don't more artists sue their labels then?
Because they want to stay relevant. That's basically what it is. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy.
I've spoken to super popular people before, and I'm like, yo, the money's here. All we gotta do is this and that, and they don't. I don't want to do it because that's gonna mess my career up. All right. Well, I mean, like these guys don't believe in themselves enough. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I'm not scared of the machine. Maybe because I'm not an artist. I don't know. But I'm not scared. I'm not scared of the machine. I'm not looking for a record deal. So I mean,
right? Do we need the machine? Does the artist need the machine anymore?
Well, I mean, they're going to be more popular than the machine because they're going to put more marketing and promotion into you. I mean, and I think the artists still want to feel like I signed to Universal. Like they want to have that prominent name under them instead of like, oh, I went independent. And some guys are smart and go independent and don't care about the machine like that. You know what I'm saying? But I think most artists still care about the machine.
Yeah, should they?
I wouldn't, from my experience. I mean,
the machine doesn't care about you?
Yeah, they won't buy you a casket.
Oh.
Ooh. That's deep. Yeah. You know what's crazy? When I hear about what artists have to pay for after they get in advance, like you look into the things that they get charged for, like studio time, lunch, like coffee. Like they would have things on their itemized bill that they get charged for everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's how I keep you in the red. You know what I'm saying? And then, they can play with that too. And the thing about it is, if you can't read that statement, I know people that run companies at these major companies, and they can't even read the statement.
So how much, because everybody says they say the record labels aren't really paying artists because there's no money in music.
Nah, there's money in music. I mean, maybe it's like not like 1999 or something. I think 1999 was supposed to be the best year profitable for the music industry or something like that. I mean, it went into streaming. It's just switched up now where money's pooled instead of you getting your individual mechanical. Now it's pooled in the streaming pool. The more popular you are, the more you get market share of that pool, out of that money. It's a whole different game, and that will transform because it will go to streaming, it'll go to something else because now they're looking into just getting like, they get big money from like Facebook licensing deals and, you know, they're still looking at different ways to make money, you know what I'm saying? So it's going to transition, you know, went from downloads to streaming to...
How hard was it to like keep, like you said, when it started going to streaming and everything's becoming digital, how easy or hard is it to track that paper?
I mean, honestly, I think it's kind of hard because, I mean, it's software based because like, put this way, say if you're on a major label, I mean, it's like, you think Universal's reading the Spotify statements? They're just getting the Spotify statements, they're doing what they do to take their cut or whatever, and then they're passing it off to you. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they don't have the time to look at all of that. You know what I'm saying? So they're just passing it off. You got to figure it out.
Right. Now, I got to ask you this. AI, right? We seen Drake use Tupac's voice, Snoop Dogg's voice.
Yeah.
How does that work on the royalty? We just saw Kanye sample somebody else's lyrics and put his voice on the lyrics. How is that going to work?
I don't know, but I think eventually the record labels that own those masters are going to be doing licensing deals or some type of deals where the record company don't care. They'll license out the AI. You know what I'm saying? That's a whole other way to make money. You know what I'm saying? So I think they're at the stages of figuring it out now.
Right. What's the worst record contract you've seen?
Hey, boy.
The worst record contract I've seen a few.
Give us one there, and then run us through what they had.
Like, God damn.
I seen a Loud Records contract for somebody that was horrible. They got 4 points, and they had 4% of the pie, and they had to split it.
4%.
That's crazy.
That was bad. That was real bad. I seen some other contracts from when I was like 18, 19 from some gangster guys that were signing, but they got major label deals and, for some artists and stuff like that where artists would get no publishing, just writer share and stuff like that. Those are pretty bad too.
What does a fair contract look like?
What, through a production company or through an artist? For an artist, I don't know. If an artist got 15 points, 14 points off their first deal, I wouldn't really complain. I mean, now if they're prominent and they did something independently on their own, they might get more because now there's leverage. But if this is like their first deal and they're making no noise and the label liked them and they got maybe like 14, 15 points or something like that, that would probably be pretty good.
So that Meg Thee Stallion contract was actually pretty decent then.
Who?
Meg Thee Stallion, her contract was like 25% or something?
That was probably through a production deal. Though.
Yeah.
Okay,
so that's
the
not
production deal, the production company probably got those points.
Oh.
And then they gave her a piece of those points.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll split the points with you or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Because I work with a guy now, he had a production deal with a Warner affiliate, and he got 20 points. And the artist got, I think, 60 or 70% of those points. The artist might have 12, 13 points out of that, something like that. And the production company got 7 or something like that.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I got to ask you this, right? There was a rumor going around, like when Diddy got locked up, right? They were saying that he was offering people their publishing in order for them to sign an NDA. Was that or was that not true?
Because
you got Locks the Publishing Bank, and I remember when
in collaboration with, I got to shout the Styles P. I got to shout him out because he's the first guy to smell something fishy. You know what I'm saying? So he's not like these other guys, you know what I'm saying? So me and him collaborated, and along with some help with him, we got it done and got a check, you know what I'm saying? I think Mace got his back also, from what I heard, but I've spoken to like Making the Band and a whole bunch of other groups. They didn't get nothing back.
He was crying.
they ain't get nothing back.
Man, did you hear that story about how Chopper said Farnsworth Bentley stole like a $60,000 Cuban from him?
Yeah, I heard something about that.
Man,
Wait, just real quick on the Puff. So, was Puff Daddy's contracts predatory, or was it just standard business?
Nah, honestly, I wasn't mad at his contracts like that. I mean, he was given points, and he was given a piece of the publishing. I mean, he took a piece of the publishing. I've seen worse, so I wouldn't be that mad at that. I would say this: back in that era, I think Rough Riders is doing something similar. You know, asking for publishing. I think Murder Inc., who was a competitor of Bad Boy, they were doing something similar, taking a piece of publishing, maybe 25%. I think he was taking Irv of his writers and producers, something like that. Well, maybe not Jaws, but I don't know the contract between them. But I know most of his people he was doing that to. And the only company I know at that time that was competing with them that wasn't taking any publishing was Rockefeller. So if you signed to Rockefeller, everybody got their publishing.
Oh, that's
From
fine.
what I saw, yeah. But the other three companies I mentioned, they were asking for some publishing.
That's what's up. Now, I was traveling with a big name producer before, right? And one of the things he was telling me about is that sometimes the actual producer will, like if you're working with a big name artist and you're an unknown producer, the actual artist will take some of their publishing.
Absolutely.
Tell me what part of the game that is.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a game of leverage if you want to work with me again. I mean, I remember a guy that was working with Jay-Z, right? Damn, he did a song, I don't know if it was an American Gangster soundtrack. He did an intro song, right? And the song came out before even the contract getting done.
Oh, shit.
And I was trying to tell him, like, yo, bro, you got all the leverage in the world. You know what I'm saying? They can't ask you for shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got leverage over them. You know what I'm saying? You could do this, you could do that, you get some publishing, all that stuff. And Rockefeller was basically like, well, if you want to work with Jay-Z again, you get no publishing, you just got to go by the standard. You came with the sample, you get nothing, this and that, if you want to work with Jay again. And I was trying to tell him, don't go for that move. And he went for the move, and they never worked with him again. So you was better off doing what I said. You know what I'm saying?
That's what's... Wait, so, okay, when it comes to sampling, like let's say we sample a James Brown song, how much should we expect to get from the points?
Well, you might get some points, but if I was the lawyer, I'd give you no publishing.
Well, why is that?
Because you came with the sample, so you made the expenses. You know what I'm saying? And I've seen plenty of lawyers do that. Like you get some points, but you're not gonna get no publishing. You know what I'm saying? Next time, make an original composition, and you get your 50%.
Right, that's free game for producers. So what about what they call it interpolation when they replay it? Is that do they get publishing points from that?
Yeah,
or
I've
no?
seen people get publishing off that.
Gotcha.
Absolutely.
Gotcha.
How many more? What gender gets railroaded more, men or women?
Black people.
Message.
Should be good.
Nah, I mean, I just think that they know that we're the most ignorant knowing the business. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I think it was BMG that did an audit or did some type of survey a decade ago or more, and it proved the fact that black people get paid less in the industry.
That's crazy. And we're the most influential music on the
Yeah,
planet.
but we don't study the books.
So you're
You know
telling,
what I'm
but
saying?
I
I could ask anybody around me, what does the statutory rate mean? What does this or that mean? They might have been around the game 20 years. You know, wanting to be, they're just not gonna know. They just won't pick up nothing. They just won't. I got people around me that just refuse to read shit. You know what I'm saying? You're just made to get jerked. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I just know what I know. You don't know shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, these white guys are salivating, looking at you like, oh man, like I can't wait. Like, oh, I can't wait. Like, and oh, I got the best lawyer. That don't mean you're gonna get paid straight. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hear that shit too. So what? I don't care who your lawyer is. You know how many people got good lawyers and still getting judged?
Right.
That don't mean your contract is beautiful. That don't mean you're getting paid correctly.
So I guess
You know?
it hurts to hear that because I don't feel like country singers are as any more smarter or your pop singer.
I don't know. I see them coming out with better lawsuits. You know what I'm saying? I've seen that before. You know what I'm saying? I've seen the Caucasian people be more effective and know more about their royalty system.
Right.
Because, like, once again, a lot of guys I know, they're just waiting for the wire to see how much money comes in the bank. Your royalty statement, the more popular you are, the bigger your royalty statement. Ain't nobody really reading that. They just waiting for a royalty check. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, they don't even know how to read it. You know what I'm saying? So how they gonna know?
So
It's crazy.
do you think you could help Warren G? Because I heard he
Yeah, well, I know. Yeah, I could definitely. I spoke to him before, and then we lost communication.
Yeah.
But I could definitely help Warren G. I mean,
he said he made like $15 off Regulator.
I could help Warren G. We lost communication.
Yeah.
I was talking to maybe like 2011, 2012. But I mean, his affiliate Suge was calling me from jail. All summer last year, he was calling me, wanting me to sue Snoop, wanting me to sue Devontae off the Above the Rim soundtrack. I didn't really want to get involved with that shit, you know. But and I knew a lot of shit. I knew a lot of shit that I could put some money in Suge's pocket.
Mm. Do you really want to help Suge though?
I just didn't. Well, I mean, he was nice to me on the phone and shit.
Business is
you know
business.
What I'm saying? But he tried to play some. I gave him a little bit of information, and he tried to cut my throat and go to this guy Parv, I think, to try to see. But I mean, I've taken stuff from that guy Parv. I've used and abused him before. You know what I'm saying? So like, I mean, like he's not even on my level. You know what I'm saying? Like I took catalog from him. He went to a guy like he must have thought that he's the man. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. You know?
Hey, Warren G, call Roach, man. Come on.
What artist is it that you look at out there and you're like, I know he's getting jerked?
I can't name an artist that isn't. I mean, I could always find a problem, even if it's small. I could find.
Is there anyone artist that you be like, oh no, they just doing him, and I just looking at how he's moving.
Yeah, I got some sad songs. Yeah, I've seen some people get totally jerked.
Is there anyone right now that you could see that just out there that you could see?
Yeah, I mean, I spoke to somebody today. I mean, I can't really name no names, but
Right.
yeah, I've seen people on major labels that got some big issues, but we're working on it. I mean, I'd rather fix the situation first, and I'll come back and tell you. Yeah.
Everybody always screams they want to own their masters. What is that? Like that became a
mean,
hot topic a couple years ago.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool to own your masters, but you're still gonna need them to get the product out there, because you don't know how to get it out there still. I mean, like, you're gonna own say if I give you your masters, what are you gonna do with them?
So what is the significance of owning your masters?
Well, it's good. Well, you own your masters, now you own 100%. That's 100 points.
Got you. So basically, the publishing company takes a
That's
little
not
bit.
the public. Well, that's the point side of the copyright. Got you.
Got you. So you're saying if you own it 100%, they don't have any incentive to push it now.
Yeah, right.
Gotcha.
But then you can come back and at least cut a deal and say, hey, I'll give you 10%, I'll give you 20% to get it back out there. And instead of you getting 12, 13 points, now you're getting 80 points. Now you're making 4 or 5 times more, 5, 6, 7 times more than you were before.
Yeah.
You know?
So when we look at some of these stories, right, and we see like not SWB but TLC and these people,
He signed
right?
to a production company.
But my question is, are they just jerked for life? Like it seems like, damn, how long do they get jerked? Like it'd be like I'm 40, bro, and they still ain't got that money. Like how long do they get that?
I mean, according to the rules, they're probably still under the same contract, but they could sign a U.S. copyright termination if they came out in 92, 35, maybe in 2 years, I think. They could do a termination just for the U.S., and they might be able to get a renegotiation with the major label that still owns the masters.
So we're talking, they be under contract for 30 plus years?
Well, I mean, you'd be in contract forever if you don't know how to exercise your rights.
Jesus Christ, bro. I mean, it does.
We knew a group
Party Boys?
Party Boys.
They had to wait today.
They had to wait till their manager died.
Bro.
How?
Well, why was that? Did they find him cheating after he passed away
no,
and they
he
were
just-
able to leverage something?
It was
or-
something in their contract where he owned them.
Okay, but why doesn't the manager's estate own it now?
That's a good question.
Yeah. I don't know if he had a beneficiary.
Was there some foul play in there?
For sure, it had to be.
Okay, so that may be how they got it back, though. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
There might have been some foul play.
So that's my question. So how do you get out of it when somebody just owns you? Is that illegal to just be
Well,
like?
you see what we did with Joe. You know, we
Okay.
had to bring him to court. He had to face the music. You know, that set the reality of everything going on, and the mediator made it. He had no choice. He had to give it back.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, you got to go all the way with it. But like I said, a lot of these people will take the hit because they want to stay so relevant.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't understand that, but I kind of got to be in their shoes, I guess, to really see that. You know?
There was an issue. I want to know when Kevin Gates. He said in one time that a record label bought his name and they wanted $1 million to buy it back.
Wow, they beat him to the punch.
So how do you is there no is there no protection against, like, let's say I'm an artist and I've been going by this name for 10 years, like I don't have any protection against things like that?
I mean, you gotta know how to protect yourself. You know what I'm saying? Or else you get used and abused. I mean, they just got. See, you went up against somebody with ring experience. You know what I'm saying? You came out of the Golden Gloves and you got a first professional fight. This guy's speaking 100-0. You going against. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is. Like even like some of my friends that got deals and stuff like that. You talking to guys that got ring experience. You know what I'm saying? They talk to you real nice, and these are the first time you hearing these type of things, and you walk out the room, you got some money, you think that everything's good. You know what I'm saying? But you're going against a war vet.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And they know how to manipulate you if you don't.
Right. Lil Wayne and Birdman.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I was dealing with a female that was helping run Cash Money Records at one point. It was like 2010, but it took about 5 years. Like from like 2010 to 2015, I was telling this lady like, yo, like that shit is fucked up. That shit is fucked up. You know what I'm saying? So the lady finally believed in what I was saying, and she took my advice, and basically she saw, I did a little deal with her, and she, let me go collect money for Cash Money. So basically, I was collecting money, and she wanted a kickback, even though she was an employee for them. She wanted a kickback, whatever. It is what it is. So I was collecting money for Cash Money, and then I was putting money into this. I think it was called Cash Money Marketing. I remember me being at the bank one time, putting some money in there for Cash Money Marketing or something like that. Maybe she ran it, maybe she didn't, whatever. But I put some money in there. Maybe a couple of weeks later, I get a call. Don't put no more money in there. Don't empower them. Don't, forget it, fall back. Don't do nothing, no more shit for Cash Money. I'm like, oh, what's up with that? Baby owes Lil Wayne $50 million. I don't think he can come up with the money. Let him go broke. And then I got the resources to get the company from under them.
Right.
I was like, really? I just left it alone. That was 2015. I think it was May 2016. Me and my man Smitty, we went to Quad Studio, met up with Baby and Slim, and I think they were about to have a renegotiation with Universal, like October 2016 or September 2016. So we were a few months ahead. So I was basically coming there to say like, yo, like with this shit right here, you could leverage your deal even better. And I don't even think we got that far. But I was talking to Slim in the room, let Slim know like, yo, bro, this lady's playing games. She wanted a kickback. She's trying to take the company from under you. She's telling me not to put no more money in your pocket, shit like that. Slim's a cool dude, mad composed, like, oh, okay, we're gonna handle that. And Baby came in the room, told Baby the same story. He started spinning around the room like, yeah, he was highly animated about the situation. Highly animated, but shout out to him. You know what I'm saying? He was highly animated, and I don't blame him. You know what I'm saying? So maybe a couple weeks later, they got me on the phone with one of their associates. I told him the story. He said basically like, hey, don't tell nobody else, just deal with me about it, and we'll get it straightened out with the notes that you got. Never heard from that guy again. Yeah.
Have you ever told somebody did some work for somebody, you told them a disclosed amount of money, and they kind of looked at you and nodded your head, and then you seen something on the news, man, like some gangster shit had happened, like, man, thrown out a window.
No, but I do know a few people that are signed to some people on major records,
Right.
and they're scared to sue because the production company are alleged gangsters, and they owe millions to the guy. You know what I'm saying? And he's,
I'm not going
he or she.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
And they just don't want. They just like.
I'm not gonna lie to you. If somebody told me a million, somebody owed me $1 million.
There's a couple million. There's probably 5-6 million.
Yeah. If you owe me $1 million, I don't want the money no more. I think I want something else.
Yeah, I mean, put it this way. I'll tell you this.
Yeah.
I was home asleep one day. Might have been like 12 at night, 1 in the morning. I pick up the phone. This is like 2010, 2011. It's Irv Gotti. He's all drunk. Yo, we're coming to your house. We're coming to get you right now. I'm like it was 1 in the morning. He's like, yo, fuck that. We breaking into Sugar Hill House right now. They robbed me. I'm like, all right, if you want to go to jail tonight, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'll go with you. But, they got cameras everywhere and they run the town. We're not going to make it a block off. We're not going to make it a block away after we go in there. We're not even going to make it a block. We're all going to be in the jail. We're all going to be in the annex. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to come pick me up and you want to go to jail tonight, come on and get me. Otherwise, take them to court, you know what I'm saying? And try to find some other resolve, you know what I'm saying? So I've had that a couple of times. People, oh yeah, that's right. I've had a couple of gangsters pop up and like, yo, we going over there, this and
Why
that.
do they want to come get you? I would be like, motherfucker, I ain't in that. We gonna do this thoroughly.
I mean, bro. I was in the studio one time with somebody and they were like, yo, we're gonna just kidnap so and shit like that. I just walked out the room like, I don't want to be accomplice to this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like they're just like, oh no, we'll just steal him. We'll just steal him. Like he be over here and we'll just steal him. I was just like, let me.
They say we'll steal him.
Yeah, that's what he said. Yeah, we're just gonna steal him. We're just gonna steal him. I was just like, I just walked out the studio like, I don't want to be in that room and hear that shit. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Do you believe the streaming services are complicit in artists exploiting artists? They always say that that the labels own these streaming companies.
Well, I think they bought stock into it. You know what I'm saying? So this way, if you don't want to go independent, if you don't want to be on a major label, they're gonna eat anyway because they got money invested from stock.
All right, let's do some math real quick, right?
Mm-hmm.
My boy Rook, right? He dropped a song today, right?
Mm-hmm.
Independently.
Mm-hmm.
Can it go #1 on the charts? Is that an impossible thing for an independent artist to do?
Odds are against you. Hopefully we'll do something on TikTok and then it goes viral and then it goes from there or something like that.
Let's just say that it does that.
But then if it does, the major label is going to pop up and chances are Rook's going to sign with the major label.
Why?
Because they offered him a nice bag.
Let's say he doesn't take that bag, right? And he
then
he goes #1. What does his publishing deal look like?
Well,
if he hits #1.
If he hits #1?
He hits #1. He comes out, man, I'm Rook, bitch, whatever song he comes out with. And he goes #1.
He's going to see a lot of money, but he's not going to see the type of money that he did if it was like the physical days. You know what I'm saying? He might get a six-figure publishing situation. But back in the physical days, you would have got more money.
Like what? What's the difference?
I've seen people get $800,000-900,000 off pub deals back then. Now you just get a couple $100,000 probably.
Damn.
Yeah.
So we've devalued the music that much.
Yeah, because it's in a different form. Look, you got to get 1 million hits for it to equal so and so thousand or whatever dollars and stuff like that. It's not the same,
Now with podcast and all that other stuff, also streaming, is there a bag for that? There's a lot of new podcasters, people doing YouTube content. Is there a publishing bag for that?
A publishing bag? I don't know about a publishing bag, but I got a friend that's on YouTube making $500,000 a year. You know what I'm saying? So he gets sponsors. He gets to talk about whatever company use my shave products and all that type of stuff. it's a nice independent way to eat these days. You know what I'm saying? And if you notice, a lot of these artists, they're taking their creative aspects and they're bringing it to the podcast, you know, because they got charisma and stuff. And you know, it's probably an easier life. You know what I'm saying? Instead of dealing with the label being lied to. You know, back in the day, you know, I heard an artist coming to the labels with 15 people kicking over tables. Where's my money? You know what I'm saying? And stuff like that. And guns might come out and A&Rs might get hit in the head and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you should be happy. This is way more relaxing. Yeah.
Do you think that they made streaming so unlucrative for the artists, for that? Because it shouldn't be that a song gets streams 1 million times and you make $500 off of it.
And the funny thing is that depending on the streaming company, they all have different royalty rates too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's not like they're going by like everybody has to, you know, pay this royalty rate so everybody got different royalty rate. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely unbalanced.
Why don't artists have more power to be like, I don't want my music on there. Why can't they can't? Or is that a label decision?
I think that is a label decision.
Okay.
I don't think it's inside the contract. I don't think, especially now, you know what I'm saying? Because if you signed a pre-digital contract, you know what I'm saying, before the streaming came in, you'd be able to exercise that right. You know what I'm saying? I think Dr. Dre might have did that or something like that from what I heard before. But now, you know, as the game transitions and they'll put that in there to protect themselves. You know what I'm saying? To make sure that you can't do that. You know what I'm saying? So all of those streaming rights, they're going to be in the new contracts now when they weren't before.
Who's the top 3 publishing lawyers, not including yourself?
Publishing lawyers? I'm not a lawyer.
What do you do?
I'm just a consultant that just got pretty good at it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know any publishing.
Oh, so you're just able to identify.
Yeah. And I help lawyers with litigation. You know, I kind of like, you know, come up with the evidence, you know, and say, yo, here, this is what I found. So they could, you know, I'm not a lawyer and I can't litigate. I do what I do great, and then they do what they do great. I just provide evidence so they can be the best that they can be and litigate, you know, when it's time to litigate.
So
you know
if you were to go get a litigation lawyer, who would you go pick up?
Oh, no, I got one, but I don't even know if I want to say her name.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying? Because I don't need a bunch of niggas.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Bothering my lawyer for nothing. You know what I'm saying? Right. I'd like to say her name.
Right.
And if you really need her, contact me. Let me evaluate what your issue is, and then I'll put you with her. But I just don't need a bunch of niggas bothering my lawyer.
So what is Sugar Hill Gang doing right now? Do you ever just
Sugar
talk
Hill
to
Gang
them?
or Sugar Hill Records?
Shit, both. Shit, them niggas is a gang. They're robbing niggas.
Well, I mean, Sugar Hill Gang is the group.
Oh, okay.
You know,
Sugar Hill Records.
Well, there's only one left, unfortunately.
Right.
The father passed away. The mother passed away.
Got you.
The 2 brothers passed away.
Got you.
The one brother that I kind of grew up around that was in my grade, he passed away in 2014. That's the one that I caught that was stealing Benzino's royalties, Ja Rule, Irv Gotti royalties, Benzino's royalties, Foxy Brown royalties, Nature royalties, a whole bunch of people. He ran out of litigation. We had him in a dual deposition at this lawyer named John Jekyll's office. I remember John Jekyll calling me. And in the background, like, yo, man, I can't control this guy. You hear him in the background, fuck you. Like, because it was 2 lawyers. It was a dual deposition. He had to answer some questions in the deposition. But you hear him in the background, like, fuck you, I ain't doing shit. I ain't like, fuck you. Like, and he just ran out the room. He's like, yo, man, I can't control this guy. Like, you know him? Like, you know. I'm like, hey, man, like, I'm not there. Like, I don't know. All we'd be doing is arguing if I was there. Like, he's like, he left. I'm like, where'd he go? He's like, he's gone. He ran out the deposition. You know what I'm saying?
But they kind of said the first black record label company just robbing everybody.
I don't know if it was the first or if Enjoy Records was the first, but that was his competitor. Like, if you ever saw the Jetsons, like Stacy Sprockets versus Cogswell Cogs, you know what I'm saying? Enjoy Records was around at the time too. I don't know who started first, Bobby Robinson and Enjoy Records, who had Spoonie G and some other artists, or if it was Sugar Hill Records. But Sugar Hill Records had bigger distribution than Enjoy Records. And I know Sugar Hill wound up taking a bunch of Enjoy Records artists because they were a little bit bigger and working with them. yeah, I mean, they had their chance. I mean, they made their money. I mean, at the end of the day, they got millions and millions of dollars, right? I mean, they got their catalog is worth millions of dollars. Half of it is, or a portion of it might be stolen, but I mean, they still. I mean, at the end of the day, they're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So.
Hey, you're a young artist, right? And you have two choices. Because they used to put this on Facebook. You got to sign with either Cash Money or Puff Daddy at the time. Which contract? Which contract do you take?
Well, I mean, hey, man, I guess I'd have to sign the Cash Money, bro. Yeah, I mean.
It was that bad at that point?
Nah, I'm just saying.
It's in the future now.
They had a. I mean, they did better in the record industry. I mean,
No,
look.
I'm talking about it, like they hate it. They hate it.
Well, oh, you mean like during the bling bling era,
Yeah.
and all that type stuff. I think Cash Money was still going through a growing process and didn't know as much as they do now. You know what I'm saying? Due to them being young. I think Puff Daddy probably that time is more business savvy. If I had to take a guess. But either way, even if I'd probably still have to go with Cash Money probably because their catalog, even though if there was some mistakes made in the late 90s, 25 years later, that catalog and that artist is probably worth more than the Bad Boy artist in their catalog. You see what I'm saying? As a value. You know what I'm saying? So I would still have to say Cash Money.
Have you ever had dealt with an artist? I had an artist approach you trying to get some money and they was just doing so much, he was like, yeah, I'm not gonna help you.
That I wasn't gonna help?
I'm not gonna help you just because something seemed off or it didn't seem.
Well, I mean, I had somebody the other day that was telling me half truths.
You're right.
You know, and once I got to the bottom of it, he stopped calling me. You know what I mean? That happens a lot. I mean, sometimes, hey, I had a guy who's a big producer. If I say his name, he's been on reality shows, all sorts of stuff. I mean, this guy's put out artists that probably sold 10 million and stuff, right? He sold back in 2019.
I just guessed.
Who?
The Dream? I just guessed.
No. No, this is a producer and a guy who signs artists and stuff like
Gotcha.
that. Back in 2019, he sold the catalog that he had to some white girl, super popular. He sold the catalog, right? The buyer didn't do the process of putting everything out there yet. Like it was just sold. You know what I'm saying? He got the money from the transaction. He called me up and told me that, you know, hey, I got this catalog for sale. You know what I'm saying? So I got this guy a deal for like $4 million to buy part of his catalog and stuff like that. And then the company called me back and found out that he already sold it. You know what I'm saying? So he was trying to get me to do a double sale. You know what I'm saying? And then have me stuck with the issues.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I've seen that before a couple of times. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, that was dirty work.
Last topic. Angie Stone. Right. How does it rest in peace?
Rest in peace. Rest
Right.
in peace. Absolutely. I mean, if you heard I think, unfortunately, I think she passed away trying to chase that Bruno Mars Uptown Funk record. Damn. Yeah, because I mean, she believes that she owned a piece of that copyright because of, you know, her record that came out under Sequence, under Sugar Hill Records. Yeah, Sugar Hill had Angie Stone as a group called Sequence, Cheryl Pearl, Blondie, Angie Stone. They were the female version of the Sugar Hill Gang. And they were actually they wrote Apache, they co-wrote Apache, they co-wrote some of the Sugar Hill Gang's records.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I think she was trying to chase down that along with some other issues that she had with maybe her publisher and whoever else that she was dealing with. But yeah, I mean, it's highly unfortunate what happened, but I think the family will probably take care of it. I mean, and I got a call recently from a relative. Like I said, I was on the Starz show the other day, and the show was dedicated to Angie Stone. And I got one of her relatives to reach out to me, or one of her people reached out to me in the DM saying that, you know, hey, we're gonna try to, you know, use you to, you know, help whatever issues that she got. So, you know, if, you know.
So do you think there's money there?
Oh, I know there's money there. There's no, I mean, at the end of the day, yes. Yeah, there's money there. Yeah, for sure.
Again, you know, when it comes to people going out there and getting that money, you the top dog when it comes to that.
I'm trying to be,
advice,
man. I'm trying to be. You know what I'm saying? I really am trying to be.
What if?
What's in there?
Yeah, what's in you? What you got over there, man? You got a little binder over there. You got some
Oh,
top secret information over there.
No, I was gonna pull out the Benzino statement where they had him unrecouped 1 million. But I mean, we explained it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it shows the 4 projects and missing the 8, and you know the games that they play.
Hey, can we get Benzino that money? And Benzino, if we help you, can we real life just need a light hundred?
I'm gonna try to have a little talk with Universal about it,
Yeah.
and, you know, and see if they want. Because I mean, at the end of the day, all I see is black people getting manipulated all the time. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I got some white clients too. They don't have the same problems. I just haven't seen it yet.
How do we manipulate the white people?
What'd you say?
How do we collectively? He said, how do we collectively as black people manipulate white people? How do we? Yeah, is it? How do? Don't answer that. It's some bullshit. Do them labels ever get tired of seeing you call like damn this motherfucker Roach on the phone again?
I've gotten emails where they weren't supposed to send me, but they were trying to talk. They were talking to each other, but I was still CC'd in it.
Oh shit!
Yeah, and they're talking about me and my lawyer. Like, oh, I didn't know you were dealing with them. Like, no. Let us handle it and stuff like that. And I've seen them call my lawyer a bitch and stuff like that before.
Damn.
Like, you know, but my lawyer's a dog. The thing about it is, like, my lawyer's not trying to get you a record deal.
Right.
It's impossible for my lawyer to sue you or jump the labels and then come back and be like, oh, I want to get rookie deal. He's the hottest out. Like, they'll be like, fuck you, bitch. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, so I mean, we just go in. We're just one-sided. We're just one-sided. You know what I'm saying? We're pro artists. And did I tell you the time we had a lawsuit on behalf of Cisco and Maya and Drew Hill.
No. Oh, okay, yeah. Talk.
Yeah.
Take the time.
We caught one of the Sugar Hill guys signed up Cisco.
Well,
Check this out.
Jesus Christ.
They signed Cisco up.
Okay.
I think it was for 20%, whatever I could find, right? Or maybe it's Drew Hill, whatever. They signed them up for 20% of whatever I find. I think it was the same lawyer who put together the DMX situation. But make a long story short, they found $900,000, all right? They received $900,000. They called Cisco up, said, hey, I got 50,000. I found 50,000. And they took the 20% of the 50,000 and kept the other 850.
Oh, that's shit. Who did? Sugar Hill did?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Sugar Hill got to be. We need a documentary.
Well, let's be specific. It was the son. It was the one that ran out the deposition.
He might be legend, bro.
Oh, bro. I tell you right now about him. Even though he lied a lot and that's in his blood and stuff like that, if he was alive right now, he'd be one of the greatest entertainers that would come on this platform. The stories he would tell. I'm telling you, man, he would, if he was alive, he'd be all over these platforms. He'd be on Vlad or he got his stories, man. That's the one thing I do miss. His stories, top notch.
Didn't you say they got Will Smith too?
Oh yeah, they got Will Smith on a couple of songs. I think they bought a yacht with the money. Yeah, because the father used to be like, oh, you know, I got the yacht in the Bahamas. Yeah, I robbed Will Smith. You know what I did to Sony? You know, yeah. Huh?
So they would brag about the.
Yeah. I mean, he would tell me. He would tell me. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and you know, there's guys out there that would be like, oh well, he was just smarter than them and stuff like that. You know, and you know, but you can't advocate for people being destitute in situations. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I mean, like, you're just as bad as them. Like, okay, Will Smith could take the hit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But what about the person who's living at their mother's house still?
Yeah.
That you robbed. You know what I'm saying? You've rearranged writer names and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Those people, they can't take the hit, you know what I'm saying? And their royalties are still discombobulated, you know, for 20 years, 25 years, you know what I'm saying? 30 years and stuff like that. people are still in bad situations. You know what I'm saying? Some of these people want to pass away and give the catalog to their kids or family, you know, and things like that. And then it just goes deep into a rabbit hole when you pass away, and because you had a little knowledge, but the person that inherits it has no knowledge.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So what happens to the money, for example, the $800,000? Is it just sitting in La La Land? Like,
No,
if nobody
I mean,
claims it, what happens to that money?
What, you mean with the Cisco thing? I mean,
Yeah, I'm saying, like, what
we
happens-
won that in court.
Got you,
Against
okay.
them, you know what I'm saying?
But where does the unclaimed royalties go? Is it just sitting out there somewhere to be gotten?
It depends the territory, and after a while, it will just get divvied up through the writers, that the other writers that are on the song.
Man, with the Sugar Hill records, when y'all went to court, y'all just like, yeah, y'all got us.
No. Yeah, hey, please wait. I know. Leland told. We got a mutual friend. He's probably more my friend because I grew up with him before Lee. But he told my friend that he wish he could stick me with an AIDS needle. That's what it is. So that just tells you the type of feelings he got from me. You know what I'm saying? But when I speak to him, he's all regular and stuff. But I know he's thinking in the back of his head. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess he doesn't like being exposed. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know what the situation is, but I mean, like I said, mentally, he got everybody else on lock in the town under him. They all under him. You know what I'm saying? Like, they look at him, they look up to him. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
like I said, I that's not just in my DNA. I'm not on nobody's dick.
If you
know
was
what I'm
to estimate how much money they probably done scammed off everybody.
tens of millions, probably 10. Like I said, the Will Smith alone got to be 7 figures. Yeah, I mean, I would probably say it has to be over, I mean, come on, over 50 years or so. It's probably 8 figures.
Yeah.
What made you want to be the guy that stuck up for the underdog artists and helped them get, are the people who were supposed to get these?
It's exhilarating being lied to. It really is. You know what I'm saying? I mean, at least me. I mean, I got ADD severely.
Right.
But like that just puts all sorts of energy in me. It'll make me stay up for 2 days straight, you know, doing research and things like that. Like the more you bullshit me, and I know you bullshit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The more it just
So-
it's like 110 octane. It just gasses me up. Like, oh man, like.
So can you tell when a person is lying?
Yeah, because I already did the research before I called them.
But I will say this, right? Sugar Hill is also known as the people that legitimize hip hop. Should they get some type of? Do you feel like they should have got something for that? If they're the quote unquote people that legitimized the genre.
They should. They should get accolades for that. Of course. You know what I'm saying? I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna take that away from them like saying that's just like, you know, I'm not gonna take that from them. You can't. But then there's still the obligation that you have to perform. You know what I'm saying? At the same time. You know what I'm saying? So they're not fulfilling the obligation.
No.
Man, if there's artists that feel like there's monies out there that they should be getting, or, you know, they are maybe family members of deceased artists, how do they get in contact with you? What do they need to do?
I mean, just hit me on the Instagram, Gongu Roach. I would advise you follow my YouTube channel because I will also be talking about the business at the end of the day too. That's under Gongu Roach. GONGUROACH. Hit me on Instagram. DM me. I'll get back to you. And you know, if it makes sense, we'll work it out.
Amen. And if you do hit him, if you see this interview and you hit him, please refer to Reallyfe for the discount code.
Yeah. Hey, I might drop a few points if you know. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Man, Goo, we want to thank you so much for coming on the couch and just.
No, I appreciate it. I mean, hopefully I'll come back with some other stories.
Man,
you know,
please
in the future.
do, man.
You know,
let's figure it out, man. And we're gonna do some digging because we know there's some people out there who need this good game, and you definitely got it.
Yeah, I'm sure. You know, maybe don't you got some of these Dallas Cowboys trying to start a record company or something? They got some artists, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
You know,
They try to. They really.
I could consult for them. You know.
Man,
no problem.
Man, see, that's that Jerry Jones bullshit right there. Man, with that being said, we just want to thank you so much for coming on.
Hey, man, I appreciate coming here. This is a great interview, man.
Hey, man.
I appreciate it.
Hey, Goo, this is the best part. You are a real life street star.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.